We're gonna get it scheduled, Mater Dei. Y'all know the deal. I ain't playing around with nobody this year. We want all the smoke.
Mater Dei.
All the smoke.
All that USA Today, Max Press, all that's dead. Y'all come in this in the parking lot. We ready for whatever. We ready for
Y'all play my backyard.
We
Y'all
want-
play the basketball court.
We want Mater
tennis,
Dei.
golf, anything. I want it. I want it all. All right, let them know.
And we trying to come to Cali and get that work.
Real, you know. I'm trying to give me some more In-N-Out burger and stuff. Y'all know how I am over there in Cali, boy. You know, they love you, boy.
With the spread, with the fries, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like that.
They say the West Coast the best coast. Let's find out then. We trying to find out.
We done took over the West Coast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mater Dei IMG pregame show, also known as the SoCal Report with the straight Bob Gibson. Randy Rosenbloom joining us shortly. Big talk all week, fellas. You know, we've been talking about this since we heard about it last year, that the Academy was coming to Southern California to play Mater Dei. Last year they finished 1-2 in the country. Just real quick, because we're going to be talking about this off and on, we're going to hear from Anthony White's also with us tonight. Going to hear a preview about it. But, you know, basically these two teams are probably the strongest two teams in the country, not only from a recruiting standpoint, but just basically for pure athleticism on both sides of the ball. I think, you know, a lot's been made about how the Academy is a college. They actually students can actually live on campus over there. So to me, it gives you a little bit of leg up because it's more like a college atmosphere. But Mater Dei, after the transfer rule was lifted in the southern sections this year, guys, they got a lot of transfers in football and good athletes. So I don't feel sorry for either one of these programs. Whoever wins, wins, man, you know?
It's going to be a great game.
But the transfers, Bob, were just a lot. What did they have? The Trinity League alone had like 500 before it was over.
I mean, within the Trinity League, there were a bunch. People coming into
Right.
you know, Jeremiah Cradell and Sean Dollars coming from Rancho Cucamonga, Bryce Young from LA Cathedral. I mean, there's the list of players that have come in and just strengthened Mater Dei one more time here. I think they are the two best teams in the nation. Obviously, St. John Bosco thinks they have probably an argument, too, to be in that list, and they probably do as well. But I think this game's going to show us who the best is.
They'll have their shot.
Oh, yeah,
they're in that Trinity League. They'll have their shot at
it.
Mater Dei. You know, but we'll see what happens. Did they improve enough? Did they lose enough last year? I mean, this is how good IMG Academy is. You know, they took one of the top quarterbacks from Southern California and one of the top wide receivers, and they're both starting for the Academy.
Yeah.
Upland's quarterback and the wide receiver from St. John Bosco, Delgado. So
That's the way it works at IMG.
yeah,
That's
but
the way
you
it
know,
works there.
one's a nationwide network and one's just a SoCal network. But you know, SoCal's pretty big. I mean, I think the population in SoCal is probably half the size of the nation, truth be told. We got like 100 million people living in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
200 million are living in the rest of the country, so it's a pretty even deal. All right, enough of this nonsense. We're going to talk more about this game in a little bit. This is not really the IMG Mater Dei preview
Oh, but
show.
it might be.
Oh, but it might be.
All right, let's take a look at the No Love Club. These are the schools that get no love, even though they are pretty darn good. And of course, staying at the top of this, a lot of changes, fellas, by the way.
The
Catella
Moors. The
Catella
Alhambra
stays on
Moors. I
top of
love
the
it.
field, followed by Garfield. So Catella, Garfield, they're both 5-0. Catella's probably, I think, of all this group, is the true No Love Club. They are the defending state champions in one of the lower divisions.
That is true. Give them some love.
That's right. Garfield coming from the city section 5-0. South Hills and West Covina area, they're always good, but nobody talks about them because there's too many other schools that are nearby that are pretty good too. All right, like back in the day it was Los Altos, and then Charter Oak overshadowed these guys, so they can't get any love.
Right.
Sunny Hills, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on in the water. Anthony White probably knows more about this, but for some reason, Sunny Hills has put some high octane in the tank, baby. They are thrashing people this year. They're 3-1, but they're playing a good schedule. They're averaging about 40 points a game. That's unheard of.
That's a basketball school,
That's
man.
unheard of. It is. Well,
That is a basketball school.
not even
Sunny
that
Hills.
anymore. It's just one time.
They always
one
had
time.
good. They had good basketball
Yeah, they
programs at
did.
Sunny Hills over the years.
Heritage Christian checking in that at number 5. Number 6 is Brentwood. Come on, whoever talks about Brentwood in football, think about it.
Hey, they're a basketball team. They're a basketball
Not in
team.
football,
Well,
they're not.
basketball,
But
you're
all of a
right.
sudden, they're a
this
football
year.
school. They're tearing it up. And then Alhambra from the Almont League. They're in there just because we had to run out top 7, and that's where we found them. So Hammer's not getting
If
any
you're
love.
5-0, man, you make the team.
Trust me, the competition level they've been playing is not really worthy of being named with the upper echelon, so they do belong in the No Love Club.
All right.
That's why we have it.
Love. They need to be on the no love.
They need some love.
That's why we have this club. All right, let's go to the big club now. All right, where the big boys are. Actually, these are the upper echelon schools. What do you want us to tell you? All right, these are the schools that you're going to see in the playoffs going deep. So let's take a look at the top 10 in the southern section. Mater Dei had a bye this week, as we talked about. They're playing the IMG Academy this week for the national title game. Then Bosco's going to try to upset them later and try to take the title from them. But Bosco also in there. They beat Chaminade pretty good this week, guys. 56-20.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. Bosco has.
That's expected.
You thought so? 56-20?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
That's right. That's exactly what you said last week, Mo.
I
didn't
did
you?
tell you. I actually told you
nailed
the
that.
score of 56-20 last
nailed
week.
He
that.
did. I got to
Last
give
week.
it to you. Okay, Corona Centennial continuing on their ways. They gave Valley View a black eye, 77-7. But, you know, Valley View deserved it after hanging 84 on Jurupa Valley, 84-0.
We talked about that last week.
I mean,
So they hung 84, and then they got 77 hung on them?
yeah, and I'm sure the touchdown that was allowed by Corona Centennial was the scrub team, the third teamers.
Which are still have Division I players.
Right.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, you know, if it was the first team, they would have never scored, but they did get payback. Karma is as they say, and it proved it right here.
Speaking of whoopings, look at the number 4 team right
Well,
there.
Mission Viejo moved up from the 5 spot to the 4 spot simply because they dismantled Upland 41-8. Unbelievable. They have a bye this week, by the way, but man, I'm sorry, they're playing Orange Lutheran this week, but
they play Old Lutheran.
man, they just whooped Upland something bad, and
it
nobody
was-
whoops them like that.
Not like that. No, Mission Viejo is for real this year.
Well,
You
something
know.
that you talked about last
Absolutely
week,
for real.
Rich, was if Mission Viejo and Orange Lutheran should have been swapped at 4 and 5. I guess we'll figure it out this Friday night, won't we?
That we will. No, I'm not kidding. Now, maybe if David Baldwin had stayed at Upland, maybe it wouldn't have been as bad a beating. Who knows? But it was pretty bad. Mission Viejo. So they moved up to number 4. Orange Lutheran now moves up to number 5. They're 3-1. They beat Heritage of Romo Land 35-16. Don't laugh about it. Heritage is a good playoff team.
Heritage is a good
They're the big ones down there.
spot out there.
Let's see now.
Oaks.
Continuing on, of course, we talked Orange Lutheran has Mission Viejo this week. Doesn't look good for Old Lou this week, man. It just doesn't. I don't have a good feeling about the way Mission Viejo's rolling everybody right now.
That's interesting.
Seriously.
I think it's something that we'll talk about a little bit later.
I think they could beat the Chargers right now. I'm being serious, man. They give them a good game, especially if they're playing in that little bandbox. Okay, Oaks Christian did nothing to thwart them. They're ranked number 6, followed by Jay Serra. Villa Park, number 8. Now, Villa Park got in
got a
because
big
they
win.
beat Servite.
They did.
And they didn't
win.
beat them. I mean, they really did beat them. It wasn't like a fluke or something happened or a quarterback pulled a groin getting off the bench or anything like that. This was a beating, 28-14. So Villa Park deserves to be in there, man. They got El Toro this week. Upland dropped a few spots. We already talked about them. And Servite, of course, lost to Villa Park, and they are down to number 10. That's their first loss of the season. It could happen. I don't know if they were looking past Villa Park
To
or
what? For a bye? They got a bye next this week coming up.
it doesn't matter. I mean, just looking past them because to them, it's not a tough game. They're in the Trinity League, man. To them, it's like, that's just another game, man. They're probably looking at Mater Dei the week after or something like that.
It's going to get rough here for Servite
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks. Servite's going to jump out of this top 10 really quick here. Unfortunately for them, it's not really a dig at Servite at all because we're still talking about a good football program. But look, it's the Trinity.
Ansich is coaching. And anytime an Ansich is coaching, you're going to have trouble. I mean, here's Dusha now, number 8 in Division I. I mean, doing a great job at Villa Park. And his other, Visco at Whittier. They're
Visco,
4-1
Whittier,
right now, too. So, you know, Marion Ansich is a legend. For those who don't know him, a national champion. This guy won a CI championship every decade he ever coached. So, also retired as the state of California's winningest coach. 383, 84 wins, something like that. He had a
Whatever it
lot.
was, yeah.
It takes a long time to
Crazy.
get that many wins. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It takes a
Especially in high
while.
school, especially in high school football. And I'm going to say that loss right there could come back to haunt Servite later on during the season.
I think it will. You know, that loss could be the difference between making the playoffs and not, but don't forget, it was non-league, but when these schools will bunch up. They will bunch up in league. Some will be tight, and the extra win in the non-league will get you over the top.
That could be the last winnable game for Servite in all reality.
That's true.
That could be the last game they had a chance to win. 'Cause
Yeah.
They could just get crushed, unfortunately for them, this year in the Trinity.
So what are you trying to say, Bob?
No,
Servite living a lie or what?
no. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm
it's
asking.
Not,
I just
I'm
asked
trying
to
to tell you,
clarify
it's
yourself.
the Trinity League doesn't lie. The Trinity
All
League
right.
is
No, he's right.
for
He's right.
real.
People get black eyes, bloody noses in that league all the time, and they dole it out year after year.
It gets rough quick.
Exciting to see, though.
That's right. All right, you guys we're going to go to Carlos Pena, and don't forget we're going to talk about the big 4 games this weekend. All right, so get your stuff ready.
Yeah.
Right now, let's go to Carlos Pena and see what he's up to. He's crazy.
High Desert.
Hey guys, thanks for that lovely introduction. Hi folks, welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Pena. I'm coming to you from the High Desert. Tonight, Fountain Valley taking on Adelanto. Both these teams are undefeated. Fountain Valley ranked 3 in Division 8, Adelanto 2 in Division 13. I don't know what to expect. Should be a good game. Let's go straight to the action. And here we go with the old style kickoff as we are set to see both these undefeated teams fight it out on the field. And Adelanto's Marshawn Buchanan gives the Barons a quick taste of what's to come. First score of the night comes on a Fountain Valley mishandle. The Barons overload right, and the snap gets away from Matthew Fuave, and Hosea Stokes picks it up for the 6. Point after is good, 7-0 Adelanto in the first quarter. Second quarter action, and on the next possession for the Saints, Angel Ochoa hands it off to once again Hosea Stokes, who cuts it right for the score, 14-0 Saints. The Barons finally have the Saints on their heels with this little inside screen pass to Brandon Krause, but the Saints' number 8 McKenzie catches him and strips the ball mid-tackle at the 10. Still in the second quarter, and Fountain Valley finally finds the end zone, 14-7 with 6 minutes left in the quarter. Saints with the ball, and Barons' big guy, number 55, Christian Zielinski, forces the fumble, and Ryan Gilmore picks it up for the score. Barons decide to go for 2, but almost give up another 6, as Adelanto just could not keep their hands on the ball, 14-13 Saints. Fountain Valley's coach, Jimmy Nolan, looks on as the Saints are once again smelling the end zone. This time, Saints number 7, Marshawn Buchanan, gets the ball and runs it in, 21-13 Saints, 2 minutes left in the half. With less than 30 seconds left in the half, Hosea Stokes gets the call this time, 28-13 Saints. Folks, this half isn't over yet, as Fountain Valley quarterback Hosea Stupin hits a timing pattern to Kashawn Sykes. The Barons once again overload right and go for 2, but defensive end Darius Gibson trails from the left side all the way across formation to make the save inches from the end zone. At the end of the half, 31-19 Saints. Let's get right into second half action, and Joshua Stupin comes out firing with this rocket down the middle to his favorite target, Kashawn Sykes, 31-26 Saints with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Saints come right back as Hosea Stokes finds the lane and cuts it back to the right, 37-26 Saints. First-year coach Ghalee Wadood, a Dorsey alum, is ready to close this out and calls out his defense to step it up. And they answer with this pick from none other than Hosea Stokes. The Saints will go on to keep the ball on the ground and close out this game, 37-26, with a victory over Fountain Valley and improving to 5-0. Let's hear what Coach Wadood has to say about the game. How you doing, folks? I'm here with Coach Wadood. Coach, congratulations. What a game. What does that say about the program?
It shows we still got a lot of work to do.
I see that.
It feels good, of course. You know, to have the win, it feels good. I mean, they know we're here. They're going to take us serious now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Fountain Valley came out here to play, boy. Oh, wow, what a game. You know, we're looking at Big Bear. We're looking at Apple Valley. Can we put Adelanto on that top 5 up there for the High Desert?
No question. Absolutely.
You're taking all comers now.
Absolutely. You know, we'll finish the schedule. I got to build the program. And, you know, they know the type of person Wadood is. They know I'm trying to line these guys up. I'm going to schedule the so-called top dogs. And Adelanto, we're going to make a name for ourselves for sure.
You definitely are.
It's not the old Adelanto.
No, definitely not. Congratulations. Great game. Can't wait to see what Adelanto does.
Thank you.
You guys are definitely growing.
Thank you.
All right, folks. There you have it, Coach, right here from Adelanto. What a game. What a game. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Carlos Pena. And now joining me is Randy Rosenbloom. Going to talk about the city section. And of course, Randy, all kinds of stuff going on, city play. City section teams in some of those leagues aren't quite that big, so they may not start league play till next week, but there's some starting now, I believe.
Yeah, some have started, and I put together my top 10, which is very interesting. Everybody knows about Narbonne. They're coming off a great victory over Sarah High School of Gardena. They won it in double overtime. So I have the Gauchos, even though they're 2-3, as my number 1 ranked team. Birmingham hammered a girl last week. Mason White rushed for 4 touchdowns. Terrific all-around football player. Venice, a great throwing attack, lost a heartbreaker in a high-scoring game at Newbury Park. But Venice, the Gondoliers, have a wonderful offense. Eagle Rock could go undefeated. Nathan Corrales, their quarterback, can run and throw. They score a lot of points. They're just a solid football team. Garfield's too strong for everybody in the Eastern League. They're 5-0. They're on your teams that are not being watched carefully already. I think Garfield's going to run the table and get into the playoffs 10-0. Resita's having a magnificent season. They have a transfer quarterback that'll start this week against San Fernando, a young man by the name of Savage. He came in from Royal High School in Simi Valley. They're very high on him. This is a very good Resita team. It's coming off a big victory over Canoga Park. Canoga Park was undefeated until that game. So Resita's hot. San Fernando's solid. That's going to be a big game this week, Resita and San Fernando. Carson's got a good, solid defense. Westchester remains undefeated. And Franklin, with Bobadilla at quarterback, is undefeated. They throw for tons of yardage. That's my top 10.
You know, that's a pretty diverse top 10. You know, typically you'll see it laden with Division I or the big division schools. In this case, you don't have that.
Yeah, we're missing San Pedro. You know, you think them in the top 10. You're thinking about Carson moving up a little bit higher. And then there's Dorsey and Crenshaw, who are struggling. And I just can't put them in the top 10, even if they are maybe top 10 teams when you compare them against some of those smaller schools. But they're not winning football games, so I can't put them in there.
No, I don't blame you, but I'm just saying it's very diverse. You don't see a lot of that. And the same thing in the southern section. You know, with the new format in the playoffs, we're seeing a lot of schools that normally would not play. And it's very interesting play. What else we got in the city section this week,
this is a tough story for me to do. It's about Taft High School. And you look at these scores, 296 points they've given up in 5 games. And this is a storied program in Woodland Hills. Matt Hawley, the coach, left before the season. So the program's in kind of disarray, and these scores indicate that. Hard to believe. I mean, there's a program that had Steve Smith and Malcolm Smith. The brothers came out of there, had great NFL careers. Malcolm's still hanging around. You have Antoine Woods, who's the defensive nose tackle for the Cowboys. Mike Thomas, the great receiver for the Saints, all out of this program. And you can see it's been a steady decline. Hopefully they can get it turned around. It's a tough West Valley League season in front of them, or it's going to be a real long year if they don't get it around and correct it quickly.
And that's a nice area. You would think that somebody would step up, or the administration would step up and get somebody in there who could put a stop to something like this.
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, they've been a team that's battled El Camino Real and Birmingham for years. They've been a staple of excellence in the West Valley, and it's hard to look at those scores.
All right, what else we got going on?
Got to talk about Oscar De La Hoya a little bit.
Indeed.
He's going to Garfield, right?
Garfield High School.
City kid. He says he's going to run for president of the United States. You got to love that, right?
Well, I got to love it, man. But based on what's going on right now, I don't know. Oscar's got a lot. He's got the big hill to climb.
Yeah, he does, but he's done well in business.
Yes,
we like business people, right?
Yes,
he's got the looks and the personality.
Right.
So you got to like that. And the last ad will be some of the big games that are coming up this week. Certainly that Reseda game where they go to San Fernando is the biggest game in the LA City section. It's for the Valley Mission League Championship. San Fernando won D1 last year. They were the champions of Division I. Reseda's got to go to San Fernando. Never an easy place to play, but Reseda has been the hotter football team so far this year.
All right, Randy, good job, good report. City section, man, it's an interesting year. It's pretty wide open as far as I could see, and we'll see where it ends up. I know the traditional favorites, like you say, Narbonne's been up in the big division. They may or may not win it again this year. It just seems to me wide open, Randy.
Yeah, I think after Narbonne, you're right. If somebody knocks Narbonne off, it's wide open. Anybody could win it.
Yeah, interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at our sponsors and say hello to them. This show is sponsored in part by the Yard House in Brea. Yeah, thank you, Randy. 160 South Brea Boulevard. That's over there near the corner of Imperial Highway and Brea Boulevard. You guys act like you've been on the show before, Bob. Also sponsored by the KM3 Project. KM3 Project helps people live with cancer. Get on the website and make a donation. The Jerky Zone is also a sponsor of tonight's show. The Jerky Zone has big fundraisers for high school football, basketball, baseball, everybody. And lastly, One Way Plumbing here in Santa Fe Springs. They have plumbing and heating and everything you need. All right, let's take a look at the nation's top 10. Not a lot of changes here. We still got Mater Dei and Bosco at the top, followed by St. Louis. They won this week. These are all last week's, these are all last week's, whatchamacallem, win-loss. St. Louis won their 4th game. St. John's, D.C., their game with IMG got canceled. St. Francis Prep is now 2-0 on the season. Aquinas won, Allen, Texas won, Corona Centennial won, De La Salle won, and Colquitt County, Georgia.
Love it.
Won
Sound like
as
a
well.
prison.
Everybody won big, so.
Johnny Cash played there.
Did he?
But
Sound like a prison.
I'll tell you what, that St. Francis may just drop out of this top 10 because they have nobody on their schedule in the top 100 in the country. The only school on this list that does not play a top team in the nation. And if you can't play a top team, you cannot be in the SoCal Prep Reports national top 10.
Right. And guess what, Rich? St. Francis has only played 2 games.
Yeah, but it's not their fault because look where they're at. And there's that big hurricane.
Yeah,
a lot of games got canceled because of that hurricane.
Look at that.
They would have been 3, so you got to cut them some slack.
All right.
All right.
No, I get it.
Joining us now is Anthony White, along with the other 2 stooges over here. Anthony being the third. But we're going to take a look at some games now of interest of this week. And let's start out. Who are we starting out with? We're starting out with...
We're talking about the big one.
No, we're not.
Are we starting with the
Mission
big
Viejo
one?
Orange Lutheran is the first
bury
one I
the
want to
lead.
talk about, okay?
That's a big one.
Orange County Bob's no longer with Mission Viejo, but they're better than they've ever been. And maybe that was the problem. Because right now, Mission Viejo is just steamrolling everybody. And I have a feeling Orange Lutheran is the next team to get under that steamroller, Anthony.
You know what they really have? The new coach has really brought in some great new talent. They're infused with enthusiasm. I've seen them take on teams throughout Orange County and throughout LA County.
Oh, yeah.
And they've steamrolled through all of them. Orange Lutheran coming off some good wins, but also they do have a loss coming into the game. And we'll see what they bring on Friday.
Well, that loss was against Corona Centennial, but Orange Lutheran did play them good for a half.
Yes, they did.
Do you think it's any coincidence that Mission Viejo went into St. John Bosco and took their offensive coordinator out of there to go be their head coach?
I don't. You know what? I do
That was
believe
a
that
huge
these
maneuver.
schools are getting that cunning now, where they are actually looking at offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. All these principals want to be general managers now.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that from a lot of coaches. Don't think I'm not.
No, that's very true. The Mission Viejo job, that was a done deal.
Oh, yeah.
Darn
No, I know
right.
that,
Yeah,
you know.
it was. They know what they want.
What a coup for them, though.
I am still taking Mission Viejo until they lose. Matter of fact, I'm picking Mission Viejo right now to win it all, except if they play Corona Centennial. I think Centennial's going to have.
Wow.
it. Yeah.
I'm taking-
They'll beat Bosco. They'll beat Mater Dei. I'm talking like Moe right now, okay?
Wow.
I just did my Moe impression. Thank you very much.
Did you do it?
All right. Yeah, I did. Cathedral and Sarah is the next game we're looking at. Cathedral 4-1, lost their first game last week, going against Sarah 2-2. I don't know how to measure Sarah yet, because they one of their losses was to a team in San Diego. I know how good that team is. I really don't.
I don't know.
And so anyways, but they did beat Long Beach Poly, but they did lose to Narbonne. They're 2-2. Cathedral's good as always, even though they lost their quarterback to Mater Dei.
So
They're still pretty good, though, man.
But I think Sarah is going to bounce back from the Narbonne loss last week. It was a really, really close game, 26-27?
Something like
I
that,
think that
yeah.
kind of will catapult them into getting ready for the rest of their season.
I like Sarah here, too.
Why, Bob? Why do you like Sarah?
I think because
He
I think
likes
the
the name.
competition they've played this year has been tougher, and
might
I
may-
think that's
that
going
may
to
be
help them
true.
now in this game.
All right, we'll see what happens on that one. Let's go
That's
down
a
to
28-12 score, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, well,
28-12.
What about the Mission Viejo Lutheran score? We left
Oh, are
that
you
out.
guys
Oh,
ready
yeah,
for that one? I thought you were going to come back to me for that one. But let me tell you right now so that you know, Mission Viejo will come out victorious in this game.
He
Right
ain't
here.
giving a
what's
score.
the score?
I'm about to tell you the score. I don't like to just give it away. I have to lead up to it.
All right.
We're going to tell you right now, 28-12, Mission Viejo.
28-12.
Well,
That's
they
the
scored.
lowest scoring game ever.
No,
You
they
said the
scored
same score
28.
for both games.
They scored.
I got a theme this week.
Every game's
Every game's
28-12, right?
Got a theme this week.
Play those lotto numbers.
Mission Viejo has scored 28 points already in 2 games this season, so that could hold up. That could be
Thank
the
you.
third- yeah.
Thank you. I'm going off of
It's
what
the
they've
aggregate,
done
Bob.
all week.
It's pretty much
48-42 Viejo.
Olu
Wow,
is leading
wow.
Corona Centennial 21.
48-42.
Wow.
And lost.
Wow.
It'll be a shootout.
See, I'm not that stupid. I'm not going to predict anything. All right? I can come back here next week. I told you. All right, Los Alamitos 3-1 against Tesoro 4-1. I don't know about this game, man. I mean, it's a good game. There's no question about it. I just don't know what side of the coin I'm going to be on this one.
Doesn't Los Alamitos have a win over Long Beach Poly on their schedule this year already?
They do.
Yeah, but Tesoro does too. So now what? Okay, they would have played them. They'd have a win over. Okay, I'll leave it there.
This is an interesting matchup.
It's a
for
good
sure.
game.
It is a good game.
I'm going to tell you guys what.
I like this
I
one.
appreciate both these coaches for taking this game because typically these two guys, when John Barnes was coaching at Los Al, he would never have played Tesoro. Never.
Right?
Yeah.
It would be John Glenn. No offense to John Glenn, but they're not an upper echelon team. He plays, the lower schedule ones. But I give it to these two guys in the preseason. It seems like a lot of people are stepping up and playing good teams in the preseason, and that's what's going on right
If
here.
you want to be thought of as an elite program in your division, you need to go out and step outside your comfort zone. Tesoro will take this game.
For years,
Wow.
LaSalle could not
I
crack
don't know
our top
about
10s
that.
over the years because they didn't play that
Well, Ray
competition.
Fenton's a pretty good coach over
big time.
at Los Alamitos, so I don't know. I mean, maybe they might get stuff like that.
35-14, Rich. Let's go.
I
to
think
the
one
next
thing to look at is look at the placement of the game. Week 5, right before league.
Yeah.
You know you're going to battle some of these guys.
Right.
It's a good game. We'll see what happens.
I think it's a good game. I think it's a great game myself, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's get down to the game you all been waiting for. You want to hear these guys talk about it. Is the IMG Mater Dei. IMG Academy. Now, IMG Academy would have played 4 games, but again, they got rained out this week. It's the first rain out I've ever heard of, but it was a hurricane. So
They got hurricane.
that's a
now.
good
I'm
idea.
like, you don't get the other team a pass, but you're not going to get them a pass?
I'm telling you, I would have played, but
Yeah, me too.
it's a new day, baby. This ain't the
Me
70s
too.
or 80s
Yeah, you're
anymore,
right.
man.
You're right.
They actually care if you get
that
hurt, you know? They actually care about that stuff. But anyways, I'll tell you right now, we talked a little bit about it earlier. First of all, IMG hasn't lost a game since 2014. That's a 37-game win streak. They don't get to play a 10-game season every season because they're
I'm going to correct. It's
independent.
actually 40. 40 games in a row.
Okay, maybe 40. I
40
think
games
you're
in a
right.
row.
I think you're right. It is 40. My bad. I didn't take my shoes off to count, so it is 40 in a row. They still haven't lost a game since 2014. They have the 2 top running backs in the nation. And don't forget, they have SoCal transfers, wide receiver Josh Delgado and from Bosco, and then Upland's quarterback David Baldwin. He transferred there too. And they're both starting, and they're both contributing.
Look, here's what I got for you.
do you got?
189-14. Mater Dei has outscored their last 3 opponents. There are 40 Division I players going to be on the field this Friday night.
He's not lying.
I am not
He's
lying.
not lying.
Mater Dei
Most in
This is
history.
the
Most
game.
in history. This
is
the
going
game.
to be victorious this Friday night, 31-29.
Frazier is down.
Come get the
What are you
smoke,
talking about?
IMG Academy.
If you spent your money going to the USC game or the UCLA game this weekend, get your money's worth this Friday. Get your money back. What you say?
I'll say get your money back.
Get your money back.
Coach is not lying there. That's exactly the place to be.
IMG said they're
This
coming
is
out
the
here
game.
to get. They're coming out here to get some In-N-Out burgers and some Monster fries,
They did.
and they're
Saw that
gonna
on
take
YouTube.
this loss
They
back to
did.
Florida.
On YouTube.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Mater
going to be a
Dei's going to
good
send it back
game.
with some Jack in the Box instead. Yeah.
If you plan on going to this game, you better get there early. They do have a big 3-story, 4-story parking structure next to the stadium, but that thing's going to fill up by 4. All right? There's all kinds of motorhomes and party buses and all kinds of stuff going out there. I kid you not. So get there early. I think game day's even going to be there because there is 40 Division I players.
You better
on
get
these
there
two
about
rosters.
noon.
So you got to get there early, or else just watch it on TV, like the rest of us will probably end up doing, except for Mo. He's gone. He's there. Anyway, that's it for this week. I'd like to thank Randy Rosenbloom, of course, Anthony White. Thank you for coming in. Bob Gibson, Mo or Armor Estrella. And join us next week for another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Good night, everybody.
Get that out.